Let's welcome in the management at Biocon. They have done a big acquisition and the management is now with us. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Congratulations on that big acquisition for biosimilars. Can you first start by talking about the commercial engine that this provides in the global market? How will marketing in global markets help Biocon after this deal?
Doing this deal was to make sure that we have a commercial front end for developed markets. Thus far, Biocon was present in emerging markets. And as you know, we already had plans in place to start building a commercial engine for developed markets for our future pipeline of products. But this deal actually accelerates and leapfrogs us into the commercial space in developed markets. Which is actually a very smart way of doing it, because I think Viatris already has a running engine which we need to seamlessly now transfer to Biocon Biologics over the next 2 years. So we believe that this is a very risk-free model of really creating that commercial engine, which otherwise would have taken us a lot of time. And, we would have had to have a lot of knowledge building in the process. This actually allows us to leapfrog into the commercial space.
When we talk about this entire business, can you just tell us that, when we just look at the entire angle and how things move, this gives Biocon a size, but more than size, it also gives Biocon access to various portfolio. What will the portfolio of Biocon then look like?
We have already 7 molecules in the global markets, and we have an additional 14 molecules that will actually are under development, many of which will come into it long term.
When we talk about size, it's very important that one has size, especially in the pharma market, giving the pricing pressure. With this sort of a size now in the biosimilar market, what edge in operating leverage does Biocon have?
As you can understand, the big advantage that Biocon Biologics has over many of its competition is that we are a fully integrated end-to-end play. Many of the other companies have to rely on outsourced manufacturing and outsourced R&D. Whereas in this case, we actually do everything in-house, end-to-end. And we've already created the global scale that you need to be operationally efficient and cost competitive. So we believe that now playing in the global markets with everything in place gives you that advantage of basically, being able to negotiate bigger deals.
In terms of Biocon, when we talk about investing in biologics, you have always been on the forefront. You started investing in this. Now other Indian and various global companies are following. Now you have taken this big step in terms of acquisition. With others, also investing into this business, what edge will this portfolio that you've acquired give Biocon over the medium to long run?
Well, as you know, this is not a very simple business. I mean, this is a very complex business that takes a lot of learning. The complexities of not just R&D and manufacturing, but marketing itself. It's early days yet for biosimilars. So early movers have a very large, advantage. And as you know, Biocon and Viatris have been early movers. So I think this now positions us as an early mover, and we need to strengthen up our position and make sure that we continue to have this lead over others.
One last question I would like to ask is about funding. You mentioned it in your presentation briefly, but can you just tell us that in the biologics business, will this lead to dilution in the near term? Will you be looking at an IPO or a fundraising before you go ahead with this deal?
I think I mentioned in my presentation that it will be a mix of debt and equity. So I think it is going to look debt, equity, and of course IPO. So I think if you look at all these three, I think it's going to be, a very interesting business opportunity and a very comfortable financial, a comfortable aspect in terms of financing the deal. So I think overall, the business itself is going to throw off a lot of cash. And that itself will also help us to get a faster payback. But in addition, in the short term, obviously, we would like to raise debt and equity to finance this deal.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time for us. Always interesting.